Garmin nuvi 260 white sticker version. As I said in my previous video, white sticker means that when you upgrade the firmware through Garmin Express, you get the map buttons over here and some 265 UI elements. And with a white sticker, you also get micro SD instead of full-size SD and such. Let's talk about this. Pun intended, this is the 200 series is what really put Garmin on the map. This is the one people remember. I had a 270 back in the day. Let's cover the models first. So you had 200, 250, 260, 270. The 260 is the best of the lot, and I'll explain why in just a second. The 200, when it came to your voices, was pre-recorded only. The 250, same, pre-recorded only. The 260 and the 270, you get text-to-speech. So what happens is that in language, you get your TTS, text-to-speech, which will read out the street name. So instead of in 0.5 miles turn left, it will say in 0.5 miles turn left on Main Street. That's the difference between the two. This thing will still connect to Garmin Express software, and you can still get that stuff. But the main thing is that people want to know how to update the maps on this thing. You can totally do it, but there's a little bit of extra instruction when it comes to this. Not too bad though, not too bad. So when I go over to map, now I have the Garmin Maps and OpenStreetMap in this, and I'll get to OpenStreetMap in a second. You can have a maximum of 3 map images on this. Now the maximum memory card that this thing will support for size is 32 gigabyte. That's it. You cannot go, and it's more than enough. You could even get away with 16, to be honest with you, or even 8, but 32. So you get yourself a 32 that goes into here. It's the names of the files, though, that you have to be concerned with. Now, in the internal memory of this, I have 1 map image, and on the memory card I have 2 map images. The one that goes into the internal memory has to be named gmap-rom.img, as in gmapprom.img. The ones that go on the memory card, the first one is gmapsup.img. gmap, let me see if I get this right. gmapsupp.img, and the second one, gmapsup1.img. So this unit will support a maximum of 3 map image data files, not exceeding 4 gigabytes each. And yes, that means this will house a maximum of 12 gigabytes of map data. You might be wondering, well, okay, why would I put a 32 gig card in this then if I can only support 12 gigabytes of map data? Well, if you can find the 16, it's basically availability, because 32 gigabyte micro SD cards are easier to source than 16 gigabyte. So if you can get 16, yeah, do it. But if you can't, throw in a 32, and then you're all set. Can you put all the map images on the memory card and not touch the internal memory? I believe so, as long as you remove the original map image off internal memory. So if there's a gmap-rom.img on the internal memory, and you back that up, you know, just in case things don't work out, if it doesn't work, you back that up locally, and then you put gmap-rom.img, gmap-sup.img, and gmap-sup1 into a Garmin folder on the memory card. It should recognize all 3. Shouldn't be a problem. That out of the way. The two best parts about this particular series is that, first, it runs phenomenally well using OpenStreetMap from openmapchest.org. Absolutely. Plug in and go. Easy. Nice. And the second thing is that this particular model, out of every model Garmin ever made, and I mean all the nuvis, all the drive smarts, all the drives, all of them, this has the best two-dimensional mode by far. And it's for one reason. Because the route line in this 320 by 240 resolution display has the thickest route lines and the biggest arrows, both on the map and up here. Well, okay, up here there are some models that have them a little larger, but as far as an on-map arrow, oh yeah, absolutely. Actually, you know what? Let me do this. Stop. Go to a recently found. I really got to show that. Okay, just so you can see that arrow. Okay, we're here, and I'm gonna zoom in a bit. Ooh, we got parking everywhere. Okay, so let's go right, set. There we go. Get. And yep. Well, that's not really. When it really zooms in tight. Yeah, okay, it'll show it in about 1.5 miles or so. Yeah, I'll make sure that you really got to see that, because the two-dimensional track up mode, as in when you go to settings and then map. So you've got 3 of them here. You've got track up, north up, you know, which always shows north, and then you got the 3. Well, of course you've got the 3D mode, but when it comes to track up and the north up modes, that is where this thing really shines. Oh, there is something else, and while that's getting there, is this thing, the clip, the mounting clip, which by the way also works on the 265, 255, 205, and I think it works on the wide ones too, but I'm only concentrating on the 3.5 models here. This, for a lot of people, was the best clip, best cradle that Garmin ever made, because it's just got such a nice solid click to it. When I put this thing on, listen to this. That's solid. And when this is, you know, you could say it jokingly, but that thing ain't going nowhere. It's totally true. This would even work on a motorcycle. That's how good. The ones in the future, they're not as good as this one. And it's made of a thicker plastic too, and it, you know, it still comes off relatively easily. Also, the indentations on both the top and the bottom. The bottom one in particular, I love the way they did it, because it's one of those things where you've got at the top, but it's also got the sides, so it's extra. I don't know how, support. It's extra support so that it really holds its place. It's amazing. Why is this going so slow? Yeah, it's an OpenStreetMap thing. Oh, I can see it coming. Okay, there's the arrow. It's getting there slowly but surely, but you'll see it. While we're waiting for that, now for this side, yeah, this, when you touch it, it doesn't do anything, but this side, that is where you get your compass, that is where you get your speedometer. That is a little checkered flag. That's the distance remaining to the destination. Now, as far as how much time left until the destination, yeah, you really see it now. That's a little weird in this one. You have to go to the information bar and then show map, and then you get the time remaining to the destination and the distance remaining. When you're back on the map screen, what you get is the arrival time, not the total time remaining yet. There it is. Okay, good. I'm glad you're getting to see that now. It's only on the 200 series. This is it. This is where you get that absolutely brilliant thick route arrows, huge arrows on the map, which you want that. You can totally, a little cartoony, yeah, a little cartoony, I admit, but who cares, because you got to see it when you're driving. Okay, now aside from that, I do have to list one flaw with this, and it is a flaw which is a product of its time. Okay. If you wear polarized sunglasses, you can't use this. And I'll explain to you why. In the way that anti-reflective coatings work, manufacturers have three options with matte screens. They can do it in a vertical pattern, a horizontal pattern, or a diagonal pattern when they put on the coating. Yes, it matters. Now, the one that works best is the diagonal coating, because what happens is that when you have polarized sunglasses on, it will not cancel out, because you got polarization going on with your sunglasses. Let me try to say this a better way. Okay, if it is I don't know if this is a horizontal or a vertical, but when you put on polarized sunglasses, this screen will blank out. To your eyes will appear to blank out. But then when you take your sunglasses off, all of a sudden you can see the screen. Or if you take the screen while your sunglasses are on and you do this, or you do this, all of a sudden you can read the screen. That is because of the way they put the AR coating on this model. If they had done it in a horizontal instead of a, if they had done it in a diagonal instead of a horizontal or a vertical, then you could use polarized sunglasses. Is there a workaround for this? No, except for doing one thing, which I did personally. I stopped wearing sunglasses and switched over to AR coated prescription lenses. I get my I get my eyeglasses through Zenni Optical, and what I do is that I decided to try. There's an option when you're ordering your prescription lenses, and you can get just AR coating without the sunglass. I said, okay, let me try that, and it worked. And I live in Texas where the sun is really bright, really bright. I can still see this thing while driving when I'm wearing those, because what I wanted to reduce was the glare, and to do that, AR, that's it, anti-reflective AR coated prescription lenses, and then I can use one of these. I can use any of them, which is great. And yeah, it certainly is bright enough, and I don't have to do this or any of that nonsense, and then I can totally use this afterward. Now, as far as the rest of this is concerned, it does support custom POIs. I've got some that I made here. If you know how to do the POI, I covered this in previous videos. I may do some more videos on POIs because doing POI lists is cool. You've got your favorites that you can modify there. Oh, also I should note that the way to mass delete favorites in this thing is by tools and then my data, because then you can, okay, I don't have any favorites in here now, but if I did, another menu option would present itself here and say delete favorites, and then you can check off which ones you want to delete and you're all set. While I'm here, yeah, there are some basic apps in here. You've got your calculator and a unit converter and a world clock and such. You got the world map. I always like this, the world map. That looked kind of neat. Actually, wait a minute. Let me go back to that. To world clock, world map. Yeah. So you can go back and forth between the map and the clock. No problem. There is a worthless picture viewer in here, but it's in here. It's just got the stock images from Garmin. You can take one of these, and if you go on info, you can do a display of power on. So if you want like a wallpaper of sorts, when you start the 260, you can totally do it. On this particular, on the 200 series, there's no Bluetooth and no traffic. You do get traffic with the 265T, which I have, which I've shown before, but not on this one. Yeah, no Bluetooth, no traffic. But as far as a basic, the 200 series, again, this is the one people remember. It works with any Garmin charger that's mini USB, as in this right here. You can get those chargers all day on eBay. There's tons of them out there. Not a problem. It's easy to use. I really like the large text from the information bar on the top here. You do get the blow up view here, which has even larger text with the big arrow and everything. Oh, I should note that too. When you're driving along here and you want to know how much time until the next turn, that is right there. So see, it's counting down the seconds and everything. 23 miles, 19 minutes, 27 seconds. If you want that to hang there, you gotta do this. And I showed that in a previous video. Now it will stay there. Oh, I should note also, yeah, you do have zoom right on this view. That's cool. Decent unit. Am I happy to own one? Yeah, I am. I am happy to own one. I mean, I got my 265. This is basically a copy of my 265, but there's just something about a 200 series nuvi. It brings the feels, as they say. I got big nostalgia for this particular model because so many of us had a 200 series. This is the one, again, it put Garmin on the map. Everybody had one of these at one point. And the great part about them is that they are so cheap, but you still get something decent. Yeah, and you can put in the OpenStreetMap data and still use this thing. It'll still work. It works great. Make sure you get your clip, of course, and any standard Garmin mount, any standard Garmin charger, and away you go. It's just fantastic. Again, the only real downer of this is it doesn't work if you wear polarized sunglasses. That's it. That's really the only thing with this that would really be a downer. Other than that, fantastic. You might want to get one yourself.